If you are using your smartphone, you are most likely using some of the inventions that are made. For example, swipe and the auto orientation. Last 15 years I have been working towards the haptic revolution. What does haptic revolution mean? It means that we will finally digitalize the sense for the touch. My name is Johannes Väänänen, and I have now been in the innovation business for about 30 years. We had already basically digitalized the sense of seeing and the hearing, the monitors and the speakers and so forth. And the next and the last really big thing to digitalize was the sense for the touch.
SuperBrain is completely unique concept in the blind assistive industry. When we usually talk about advanced assistive tools, then we focus on the safe mobility, walking around, maybe describe the scenery or read some labels and so on and so forth. But we see SuperBrain as a platform for all the activities that you can imagine. The main goal for us is to break all the accessibility barriers, which means that whether you're in the forest, in suburbans, wherever, if the environment is not accessible, then with the SuperBrain you can walk and you can do all the things as confident as people with the typical vision.
We want to make this technology extremely natural. So this means that it needs to be very light, very compact, working full day and giving necessary and correct information in a very intuitive way.
During roughly 2010 to 2015, I was able to prototype the first haptic material in the world. What does haptic material mean? It means a sort of fabric-like material that wraps around your skin and has the capability to produce you nuanced feelings. Really like somebody would be physically touching you.
The haptic material that we have developed creates the image of the visual world through the pressure on your forehead. When you put the ball on the table and you use SuperBrain to explore the ball, then you literally feel the shape of the ball on your forehead. And this is what we are talking about when we are talking about haptic image. It's creating or translating the visual world through the sense of touch, so you will feel the objects in its size, in its shape, in its angle, and so on and so forth. This is probably the best way how I can explain it.
We can easily recognize where is my laptop, where is keychain, where is my phone, everyday objects that you definitely need. Staircases, doors, cars that are around you. And we are also working on some kind of crazy detection things like dog shit AI. But I don't know if I should say it on the camera.
It was just an idea that we can actually transfer the real world into physical feeling without seeing and without hearing. And that's a revolution what we are doing.
When I first tried the device, I was simply blown away how it works. And I think this is something that surprises most, is that you can really understand how it works within a couple of minutes and you can already actually use it. So for me, the most heartwarming feedback is when the blind or visually impaired actually come up with some ideas what to do with this device that they never thought before it's possible for them. It doesn't really matter if you're old or if you're young. We have seen 80 years old people who are using it quite effectively, and the young children, they are learning really easily how to use it. It doesn't really matter if you're a man or a woman. It's also not important if you're blind from the birth or lost your sight later. We haven't seen any differences between that.
SuperBrain 360 is a device that you can really use full day without recharging. So it's a device that will transform the life for the people who are visually impaired and blind in a way that hasn't been seen before. Haptic revolution really removes the overload from the eyes and from the ears. It's a new sense that doesn't burden the visual or the oral senses. SuperBrain is not like a guide dog or like a helping hand. So the people themselves gain this new sense, and then they have the capability to navigate and really to react to the social situations and to understand the world. SuperBrain gives you the freedom to make the choice of your own.
It should be your partner for the full journey of the day. So you wake up in the morning, you can start to wear it, and then you go back to sleep. Almost like a smartphone that you always have it in your hand. Like almost every blind person has a white cane, so in a few years all of them should have our device. It looks like an accessory. It doesn't look like some crazy gadget on the head. So if you look from the distance, it's almost like wearing a scarf or just like a hat. It's a real product that everyone can use and enjoy, and we can still build on top of that.
The biggest impact that we can actually do is to help blind people integrate back into the society and break this kind of isolating challenges that they have, not only in work but also in the family life, in some social gatherings, and all these kind of situations where quite a lot of blind and visually impaired just feel left out. One of the best things that quite many users point out is that our device doesn't interfere with the other senses. And this is from the philosophical point of view as well, that often many assistive tools use audio feedback, but hearing is something that is probably the most important sense for the blind. So SuperBrain is hands-free experience. It doesn't interfere with your hearing. And even if you're using the hearing device, it doesn't interfere with that as well. Even if you're deafblind, you can still use it because we don't use any audio feedback.
SuperBrain 360 will not be the last revolution, since this will be series of the products. After 5 years, core things and the technology about the SuperBrain will be in the hats, it will be in the shirts, it will be in the gloves, and you will not see that somebody is using that sort of a haptic material. You just have a new kind of people that magically see 360 degrees around them, who can react faster than any normal human being with the eyes, and who might think that the eyes are kind of old-fashioned. There is a lot of science to be done around this haptic revolution. So to repeat, the science is not there yet, but we are.
I think the haptic technology in general is definitely something that's not being fully developed yet. I agree that we do have the best solution at the moment for advanced haptic technology to use not only in SuperBrain but also in the other areas like VR gaming, military, defense sector. The estimated number of blind are roughly 40 million, I believe. And when we talk about the low vision as well, then it becomes much larger. We talk about 300 million people. Every 10 years, the number of blindness grows by 21% on average. So you can imagine that in 2030, it will be probably 44 million blind people already.
If we look at the markets for the visual technologies, including displays, devices that are using displays, operating systems, apps, so forth, it's a multi-trillion-dollar market yearly. So we are looking at the future trillion-dollar industry. At the moment, the forerunner of the haptic material is this small company called 7Sense. We have SuperBrain that's revolutionizing the life of the blind, and we are just in the beginning.